Hello and welcome. This is Jason, also known as Zariko, and we're going to do a little starter guide on World of Warcraft. If you're new, old, it don't matter. Um, I'm going to cover a few things that you might not used to be setting up if you're like a veteran player, or you may have played up to level 20 or so and just didn't know that some of these things existed. Anyways, I'm going to go over a class view and a race view first so that you can kind of get an idea of exactly what you're going to be expecting in the game. All right, and this is a quick overview, so if you really want to look more in depth, please search around more on these classes and everything, and you'll find everything that you need to know. All right. First of all, when you're going through races, there is Alliance or Horde, and then there's the Pandaren. Um, Pandaren, I think. Anyways, the Pandaren, they choose Horde or Alliance once they get to, I think, around level 10 or so. They choose which side they want to join. Now, that's one of the races, Pandaren. Like I said, at about level 10 or so, you choose your own race. Now, they have a few benefits. You can click on your more info to look at exactly what they can benefit from. But right now, we're just doing a quick race run on here. So when you're looking at information, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it straight up. The race, the race little thing, it really doesn't matter. Pick a race that you like looking at. If you like looking at a female, pick a female. Okay? If you like looking at a male, look, play a male. Okay? If you feel like that's your avatar, pick it. It's your choice. Okay? Now, there's humans, dwarves, night elves, gnomes, draenei, and worgen for the alliance side. Okay? And I will say this game probably has one of the bigger selection of races that you'll see in most MMOs, um, including free MMOs. I normally look only at free MMOs, but right now, like I said, this is just a starter guide for WoW. Now, Worgens look cool though. Anyways, we're going Horde, and my main race that I normally pick is Blood Elf. So let's go ahead and get into it real quick. You have Orc, Undead, Tauren, Troll, Blood Elf, and Goblin for the Horde side. Now we're going to pick Blood Elf. I'm going to go through these classes real quick. You got Warrior, which is a warrior, your standard fighter class. It's the class that gets the big two-handed weapons. They sometimes use maybe two one-handed weapons. Really up to them on the way they want to fight. They can also tank using a shield, of course. That's their style. A paladin, basically your warrior mixed in with a healer kind of character. All right, and then you got your hunter. These guys are ranged. Um, they basically keep stuff away from them, and they use their pets as like miniature tanks. They're basically easy. They're easy mode. But if you're looking for a class that's actually pretty hard to master, probably hunter. And I think Hunter and Warlock are actually probably two of the hardest classes to master. And a rough second or third would be Rogue. Rogue, of course, you're jumping into your shadows and stuff like that. You're stealthing, you're coming up from behind, stabbing them in the back. That's your Rogue. If you like quick burst damage and you like PvP, you might want to stick with the Rogue. Priest is your guy that sits at the back healing everybody, or they can go Shadow and go into a heavy form of DPS. Shaman, of course, Blood Elf can't be Shaman, but Shamans are they're kind of a mix between melee and ranged at the same time. So they're a little more complicated. They're a little bit more of a hybrid class. Mage, straight up DPS class. Major amount of damage here. They are the glass cannon, but they can also hold their own fighting simply because they can get their frost bubble. Okay, and Warlock, of course. Your warlock has like a little tank guy, just like your hunter did, and he is straight up dots and DPS with magic. Now, dots, if you haven't heard that, it's damage over time. It's basically like if you were to hex somebody and they start dying from a poison or something that was in the hex or in the spell. That's what a dot is. Monks, they're straight up kind of like a martial art fighter kind of class. They are melee with tanking, healing, and a little bit of range damage in there too. If you've only played a monk to level 20 and go, oh, they don't got range, play it further. They do have some range in their arsenal. Now, a druid is a jack of all trades, master of none. Of course, a blood elf cannot be a druid, but a druid can shapeshift into like bear form, be a tank, shapeshift into a cat form, be a good DPS, shapeshift into that's a melee DPS for the cat form. Shapeshift into a boomkin, which is magic DPS. So they're kind of a jack of all trades, really. And Death Knight, you'll only have this if you've gotten a character to 55 or higher. Now, Death Knight is a semi warrior slash damage dealer with like a little bit of ranged. All right, give me just a moment. All right, guys, we are back. I do apologize about that. I got a little bit sidetracked, and I had to also check over some notes and everything real quick before I got back in here. So, the Death Knight, I'm going to go ahead and recap. The Death Knight is kind of a melee damage class, but it also has some ranged in there. It can be a tank kind of class if you want to. It's up to you. As for this video, my main character is going to be a warrior. That's what I'm going to go here. Now, I have originally played WoW, and I think I have my hunter, which is level 85. But right now, I basically give you an kind of an idea of what kind of player I am. I've played since the very beginning of the game, a few months after it released, so I am an original vanilla player. And I want to go ahead and get in here with just a Blood Elf Warrior because the Blood Elf Warrior, we hadn't had the Blood Elf Warrior for very long. So let's go ahead and customize. And if y'all give me just a moment because I really want to get this character looking good, I'm going to go ahead and pause the video and then unpause it when we get right back into the action, okay? Okay guys, we are back. I've got my character all made up and everything. Now, I'm going to show you a few tips and tricks at the very get-go when you first get into your game. Now, kind of ignore some of these things because I do have mods on. If you want some mods, go to curse.com. They've got some really good ones. I use Carbonite, so my little quest thing is going to be looking a lot different from what you have. Alright? And I'll just pop my auto tracker on because my Carbonite's set up to right when I get a quest, it's going to show me exactly where to go. Okay? That's a good bit of information to have, especially if you're really wanting to get in and out of your quest really quick. Alright, as for interface. Now, this is one of the key things that I was telling you vets out there. Maybe you don't know everything there is on the game. Maybe you do. You know, who knows? This is some nice little tips that I would have liked to know when I first started playing. So, go to your interface. Once you're in your interface, you'll see controls. You'll see something that says auto loop. This is really good for like if you're soloing and you just want to grab whatever on the ground up real quick and not have to worry about going to this thing and clicking, going to this thing and clicking. This way you can pick up all the loot that you can possibly carry and then go sell it, throw it away if you don't need it. That's one good way to make some money. Alright, now the next thing is our action bars. Most of you vets probably do know about the action bars. Bottom right, and you can pull all your action bars up, and that's all you have to do is just go to your action bars and select them. Alright, now Next thing that I want to let you know is click to move. When you go down to your mouse controls, select click to move. Once you select click to move, this will help you out a lot. Like if you just see a quest giver in a distance and you don't want to have to run all the way there, you can just click on them and it'll take you straight there so you don't have to worry. Alright, and that about does it for just those beginnings. And if like your action bar is locked or something, like your spells, you can't just drag them off, okay? This is good for like if you're needing those those buttons not to be clicked off of, because sometimes you'll accidentally drag one off and not mean to. Now, how you get around this is you hold down shift and then you can move your uh, little little buttons. That's a real nice thing. Now, as a warrior, yeah, you have an attack on your bar. I normally just throw that away simply because our heroic strike will automatically make me auto swing. Okay, let's go ahead and get into the first quest. Oh, before I go into that first quest, I'm gonna go ahead and show you vets something else. If you haven't seen this, or if you're new, you know, this is a good little bit of info. Your dungeon journal. And I don't mean for Mists of Pandaria. If you're going old school, like you're just getting into Rage of Fire Chasm, which is your first dungeon that you hit if you're Horde, okay? And it's pretty much your first dungeon you hit, period, since they have the group finder now. So you can go to RFC, click on one of the bosses, and then see what kind of loot they drop for your character. This will show up for what your character can wear, which is nice. Of course, this one doesn't have a heroic mode, but if the dungeon has a heroic mode, you can set it there and see exactly what the boss will drop. Not only that, say, hey, you're new to this, you don't know what that boss looks like. Click on the model. It'll show you the model of that boss so you know, oh, okay, that guy's got my stuff. I gotta kill him. So that's a nice little bit of info that's nice to have for when you're getting into them dungeons. Alright, now enough of my yammering and let's get to questing. Now, you're just starting out, you're new to this. What you're going to do is you're going to find these little guys with the exclamation marks on them. Okay, your first quest is right there. You just accept it, and we got 6 worms to kill straight off the bat. Okay, you can read the story if you want to, it's up to you. So I'm going to go ahead and kill these 6 worms really quick, and you know, if you can see, I'm just hitting my heroic strike and automatically trying to kill these guys as quickly as I possibly can. And if you get me a moment, we'll get this done really super fast, because you see we're at 2 right now. I'm going to go ahead and pause and speed this along. Okay guys, we are back and we are going to turn this quest in, and we got a few things in our bags. We're going to go ahead and take a look at those once we get this quest turned in. Okay, so let's get over here, and I'm going to go ahead and show you that little click I was talking about earlier. See, now I'm not moving my keys or anything. Boom, I just clicked on the person, straight to her, bam, already the quest up. It can save a lot of time, and well, of course, a lot of time, and help you out and keep you moving along right along if you're wanting to just level really fast. Alright, we're going to complete this quest. Now, if you're new to the game, of course, you'll actually select your reward. If you're, say, a warrior, you're going to want your male armor, okay? You want to try to get the best possible armor that you can, and that's going to be male for a warrior, or male for a paladin as well. Now, if you're like a squishy, more of a range kind of magic class, you're going to go your cloth. Okay?
Keep your wits about you.
But I'm going to show you a little bit more information as we accept these quests. So let's go ahead and get right over here. Now, before I go to this little general vendor, I'm going to show you something. This will help you along. You're not going to want to do this too often, but every once in a while you'll see gear that outmatches what you're wearing, and if it does, it's you're going to want to equip it. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm hitting the shift button to see what I'm currently wearing, and it tells me currently equipped, and it tells me all the information of my current stuff, and then it also gives me the information on the piece of gear that I can get that says +8 armor, even though it's leather. But hey, I don't care. It's giving me a +8. When I get some pants that are better than that, I'm gonna replace them. Okay, I have no gloves on. I'm holding down shift and nothing's coming up, so I would want to equip them. See, and that's 10 armor automatically. Now these feet are those little quest completed reward, so I'm gonna go ahead and equip that. These pants do not outmatch my leather pants that I put on earlier. Now the shield, it's nice, but I'm carrying a two-hander right now, so I don't want to put this on yet. So let's go ahead and sell this stuff because it's all junk anyways, and we don't need it cluttering up our little bag space that we do have. And then we're gonna go turn this quest in, and he's gonna give us another quest. And bear with me, vets. I know if you've done this a million times, you're like, I know. All right. I'm gonna tell you a little trick to this. If you'll pay attention, I'm picking up all the quests. Okay. If you're used to picking up one quest at a time, don't do that. Okay. I urge you not to. If you're wanting to level fast, do not do that. Try to go to like a little hub area that has a whole bunch of quests for you to pick up. And when you see all these quests, just pick every last one of them up until you can't pick any more up. This will help you out in the long run of excuse me. This will help you in the long run of getting those quests already lined up for you, so you can just get straight into it and start moving along doing your quest one at a time. And you see my little targeters telling me I need to go this way. And it's actually saying 0 yards because I'm already on top of one of the quests that I can work on. And technically it's 2 quests that I can work on right now. And that was my little arcane torrent I just popped so I could actually get that thing down really quick. And if you notice, I'm kind of merging more than one quest at a time that I'm doing. I just managed to finish one quest. I'm working on another quest, and when I killed that little lynx cougar thing earlier, I was working on another quest, all at the same time. If you're able to multitask and get all these quests done simultaneously, you will get leveled quickly. Alright, and why is this important? Because you can't run your dungeon until you're level 15 or 13 if you've got a whole bunch of friends that actually play the game. If you got about maybe 4 or 5 friends that are all on at the same time, y'all can all go and run the dungeon. I think the acceptance level is level 13 on there. But that is all there is to it, guys. Just pushing on through, getting straight through to these things, and getting your gear up and everything. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to pause the video for a while, and I'm going to get through all this beginning level stuff and get over to the professions, because I really want to get in there and show you what the professions can do. And I don't want to take up 50 minutes of just nonsense of grinding and doing my quests and getting them all turned in for y'all. So if y'all give me a few, I'm gonna go ahead and pause the video and we'll be back. Okay guys, I'm back, and I'm not exactly to the profession area yet, but I did think of a few other things that I did want to kind of pop in there and let you know about. Well, one of the very first things, let's go ahead and cover a little bit more of the interface. And when I mean interface, I mean things down here and up here and all that. One thing down here I wanted to let you know about is your mounts and pets. If you're an old player coming back, you actually have a mount and pet tab now. And you go here, the very first time you go here, you'll see all these little things pop up, the little eyes. Don't exit out of that or anything like that because they do give you a good bit of information telling you exactly what's going on. And yes, your pets kind of have a Pokemon system now, so you can play around with that if you want. It's up to you. But all your pets that you actually currently own are automatically across every single character that you have. So I have all these pets, of course, that I've collected up over time. Excuse me, I had to burp there. Sorry about that. And when you get your mount, which now, guys, if you are a returning player, level 20 is the time that you get your mount. And all your mounts will actually show up as which mounts that you have, and you'll be able to select them here. Alright, with that out of the way, and I wanted to go ahead and show this right here, the chat tab. The chat tab is actually pretty good at letting you customize it. If you notice, my chat tab is black. That's because when it has that transparency on it, I cannot see the words very well on there. I have a lot of trouble seeing those. So what you do is you just go to background, you right click, go to background, and then you can set the transparency on it. Okay, you set it down or all the way up so it's not transparent. And you can also right click and go to settings and edit any kind of settings that you have in there for it. Now, if you want to create new tab, you have to right click on the general and create new window. And as you can tell, I've created a guild chat and a whisper chat. What I have on here is all guild chat, officer chat, guild announcement. So this would only be guild talking. Okay? And my whisper, of course, is set to whisper, BattleNet whisper, party, and party leader, and real ID conversation. So I would only see whispers or people that I'm currently talking with, things like that. Which is another nice little thing if you're wanting to keep a little more organized. Now, the last thing I want to cover before we go on to the professions is right here. You'll actually, once you get done doing all your quests, you want to be able to do it in one fell swoop, turning in all these quests instead of having to turn one in, accept another one, turn one in, then accept another one, turn one in, accept another one, and so on and so forth. This way, everything is already out of your way, and you don't have to worry about a thing. And we get all this experience in just one big swoop, instead of having to, wait, turn in a quest, and wait, and wait, and wait, and wait. That's why I like doing it this way. This is why you want to collect all these quests up, is so that you can do this and be done quicker with these things. Okay, let me go ahead and get all these turned in. As you notice, we already turned level 4. And the reason I'm continuing on is because sometimes you might get a buff from doing a quest, finishing a quest up. As you can tell, this one gives me fortitude. So I got a little buff, and it tells me I got 30 minutes. So I want to spend that 30 minutes really actually pushing forward as hard and as fast as I can. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video, or stop the video, and then I'll re-edit it and let y'all see from the profession standpoint, and I'll continue on there. Alright, so I'll see y'all back in a bit. Okay guys, I'm back. I'm sorry I didn't get to the professions yet. The reason I didn't is I wanted to show you this real quick, because I do see a lot of people making this mistake, is they don't tend to loot their enemies, and that can be a big downer if you're XP grinding or if you're quest grinding. The reason that is, and the reason I wanted to start this video is simply because right here, I just killed this enemy. Now, some people just run past it. That's a big no-no. Reason you don't want to run past it because some quests are actually in the loot drops. As you see, we just got that loot off of that enemy. Okay? And we can right click on it and accept. This gives me more XP. Okay? And the key to playing this game is more XP, right? That's what we want, right? Okay, well, we'll be back, and hopefully we'll be in Professions by then, because I don't think there's anything else I really want to show you on there, because I think that about covers pretty much the whole beginning of everything. So let's go ahead and pause the video, and I'll be back when we get back to that section of the Professions. Okay, guys, we are back, and the reason you see my little bag pop up there is because my shortcut key for my recorder is F11. Somebody healed me. Yay! Anyways, we're about to be at the Professions, but I wanted to show you this because the Professions are like right up the stairs, going straight up those stairs. See those stairs? Anyways, something that you should always be sure that you're doing is when you get to an inn that you're probably going to be questing at, you want to go up to them
I have one of a kind
and
items.
click on make this inn your home.
Remember the sun
This way your hearthstone is set to that inn, so you can click it and automatically go back to this inn. It's a time saver if like you get all your quests done and it took you a while to get them all done, and then you can just click on your hearthstone and it'll take you straight back to that spot. Alright, now if you notice, I probably hadn't shown you other parts of the video in other parts of the video your spell book. The reason I haven't is because of the Professions. So let's go ahead and get first aid. Everybody needs first aid. You always want to have first aid. It's just a big thing that you probably want. Okay, and there's a cooking trainer right here, and this is if you're rolling a blood elf. Others, you're going to have to look around, ask guards, and stuff like that. I'm going to go ahead and train in cooking. Now, it automatically popped up with spice bread, so I want to go ahead and train in spice bread. Now, there's a little key to that, training in spice bread, why I wanted to do that. Now, remember, I'm a warrior, so warriors rely on heavy armor, right? And weapons, right? So what I'm going to want to do is go to Professions, go to Gathering, go to Mining, and I'm going to train in Mining. And I'm going to go to Production, and I'm going to go to Blacksmithing. Train in Blacksmithing. Because blacksmithing teaches me how to make mail and plate armor, and it also teaches me how to make weapons. Very good for any kind of profession that is heavy melee with mail armor, such as Paladin. Alright, and Death Knight as well. Now, let's get over here, and I'm going to show you a few of the things that are nice to pick up, especially if you are a Blood Elf. Link steak. This is a profession for cooking. This is not a profession. I mean, this is like a little recipe, if you would. And it'll teach me how to make link steak. Give me just a moment and I'll be right back. Sorry guys, I got a little sidetracked there. I had to take care of something in real life. So if you give me a minute, we're going to get right back into the WoW information. The link steaks, like I said, that's a little recipe. It's a nice recipe for cooking. Let's just say that. Now, because I went blacksmithing and I went mining, I'm going to need two instruments. A mining pick. Alright, give me just a moment. Mining pick. As I said, you got your mining pick, and then you got your blacksmith hammer. These are two things that you're going to need if you did go mining and blacksmithing. Now, you do need other things, so always check and see exactly what kind of tools you need. Like for leather working, you're going to need skinning, obviously. Jewel crafting, you need jeweler sets and jeweler kits, and so on and so forth. I think enchanting requires copper rod and some other stuff. Um, but that's some of the tools that you will need for your specific trade, depending on which one you picked. Now, another one that I like to go ahead and get is the fishing pole. Even though I'm not getting my fishing profession right now, I like to go ahead and get that. That way, I don't have to buy it later. That's just my thing. If you don't want to do that, you can choose not to. It's up to you. All right. Now, remember that bread that I told you to get, that spice bread? That's the thing that we're fixing to work on now. So, mild spice bread, okay? Well, I think it's spicy bread. So, we're going to shift and then click, and then we're going to type in 20. Okay, that's going to give me a 20 stack of it. Now, if you don't have your number locked down, your number pad won't work. So, be sure that your number locks down. Alright, and we're going to go ahead and shift click that again and get 20 again, and then another 20. In total, we're going to get 60 of the mild spices. And then we're going to get the exact equal to the simple flour, because we're going to make 60 spicy breads. Okay? So let's go over here, and I'm going to show you. Remember how I said the little spell book and everything. You pull your spell book up. Normally, you're not going to have to mess with this much, simply because now World of Warcraft automatically adds in all of your spells and everything. But it's nice to know where it is if you need to go in and grab a spell and just kind of set up your own action bar in the way that you want. This is how you get to it. This is your spell book, and you can go through and find all your spells, and even you can see what you're going to get later on. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to professions. Now, your professions are located in your spellbook. You just click on professions right there. Now, we got first aid, remember. We got cooking. Need our cooking fire. Smelting. And blacksmithing. Now, right now, we're not going to have to use the cooking fire, because if you notice, we have two little cooking stoves right here. So, we can just cook. And there's our spicy bread. Create all. Now, this is going to boost up my cooking to roughly around, I think, 39 to 40, somewhere around there. So that will be nice, considering that later on I'll be able to cook a lot more stuff. And especially if you're a blood elf, because you do get a quest later on that is to cook these spider legs. And your cooking has to be around 75, I think. But to move things forward, we're going to go ahead and pause the video and continue on. Okay, we are back, and we got all our spice bread created. Now, spice bread, no, it's not important. Spice bread was just to up our skill, and you notice our skill's at 40 now. Now, I'm not saying your skill's going to be at 40. It just all depends, because it's kind of a random thing with it. If you notice, there's no more plus sign out beside it. It means I can't get any more for cooking spice bread. I can't get any more points in cooking. I know some people are going, why up cooking? Because the herb baked egg, okay? This is just a small example. If you spend, I think it's 10 seconds eating the herb baked egg, you will actually gain a well-fed status, meaning you'll have 2 stamina for 15 minutes. You'll have 2 extra stamina. Now, that's not a big boost, but when you get up there in very high levels, sometimes those things are like 15, 20, 30, and even higher, depending on how far WoW's gone, because, you have expansion after expansion dropping. So, it can be a big boost when you get into the later levels. So that's a good thing. Now we've got our cooking done. we're going to go ahead and hop on over to the cooking trainer again. Because we upped our cooking, we've got more things that we can learn. So let's go ahead and train in those things. Doop, doop. And if you noticed, down here at the bottom, this doesn't look like my normal action bar, right? That's because it's not. It's on number 2. If you click these, there's my first action bar. There's my second action bar. I always use my second action bar because my second action bar is more like things that I don't constantly use, or I don't use them in the thick of battle. And that's going to be my professions mostly, right? So I'm going to use them all right here. That's a nice thing to have down here. Also, another thing that I didn't show earlier that I would like to show you now. If your Hearthstone, you can take and drag it up to the top right if you want to, and put it in a little icon up here so that you can just click it and boom, and your Hearthstone will take you straight back to that place that you actually set it to, like I said earlier when we went to this innkeeper down here. Now, let's say you didn't have a lot of luck, but you do have quite a bit of silver. You can go over here to Sherry, which Sheri. Sherry is actually the name of my past mother, and I kind of like that. It makes me feel really at home and well. So, getting past that, let me go ahead and tell you, Sherry, the general goods, and your first area. Say you have quite a bit of money. Go to her. You didn't have a lot of luck. You didn't get any bags or anything like that. Well, you're in luck. Sherry is carrying a small brown pouch. So if you have 4 silver, which I only have 2 silver right now, let me sell a few things. I have 5 silver now. Now I have another small brown pouch, which is going to give me 6 slots instead of what I had earlier. So I can take in, I like to put my last little bag that's got the smallest amount on the little last hook right here. You can carry 4 bags and you can get a lot more inventory later on. Now, that does it for professions and a few little tips in this area. Well, there's one more tip that I did want to cover in this little starting area, and that's your flight path. Now, WoW added this not too awfully long ago, but now you can get a quick flight to your local city and things like that. Very nice, because back in the day during vanilla WoW, we had to run around everywhere. We didn't get a flight path until Ghostlands back in the day. So nowadays, you can go to this little flight path right here and go on over to Silver Moon City if you need to. Now, going to Silver Moon City is a nice thing to do, but I do have quests here right now. For the sake of the video, I'm going to go ahead and go on over to Silver Moon City so you can see the travel. And then I'm going to go ahead and show you the auction house. So, this is your flight path. It basically cuts down a lot of time in traveling, especially if you're just wanting to get somewhere and you're wanting to get there really fast and not having to worry too much on things. Okay, we are here. Give me just a moment. I'm trying to remember exactly what I wanted to do here, so give me just a moment. Okay, I remembered exactly what I wanted to do here now. What we want to do is, once you land at your little flight path, you'll see this person sitting here on this chocobo looking thing if you're a Final Fantasy fan. And don't ask, I don't know how Blizzard got away with that, because that thing looks like a chocobo. You can go to them, click on them, and you can buy a Silver Moon City tabard. You may not have the money right now, but this is actually kind of important for when you start running those dungeons that I mentioned earlier, because you start building up reputation. Reputation can become very important, especially if you're wanting bag space. And I'm telling you this right now because you're going to go, well, I don't need bag space. And then later on, you're going to go, oh crap, I don't have enough slots. Why is this important? Because if you get this tabard and you build up that reputation, or if you start doing a whole bunch of quests with the Blood Elves, you're going to be able to buy the Silver Moon Satchel, a 16 slot bag. Guys, that is a really good bag, and it's only 1 gold and 90 silver. Go to the auction house, you're not going to find anything cheaper than that, because I think the closest that I remember correctly is the Netherweave bag, which I think is 16 slots, and it's normally running at 10 gold. Okay, so now we're here, so let's run on up to Silvermoon. And I'm running, and I'm running, and I'm running, and running. And I don't want to be so annoying, so I'm going to go ahead and get right here and pause the video so I can take away that headache of running all the way to the auction house, because I wanted to explain the auction house as well in this video. Now that I saved you all the boring running, we're here at the auction house. So, you're just starting out at WoW. You need some money. I can understand that. If you get items that drop in-game and they're green, okay, you can't use them. Don't throw those greens away. Don't just sell them to a vendor. What I was showing you earlier, selling junk, that's just white or gray items. Don't sell green items to a vendor. Okay? The reason you don't want to sell green items is because you can go up to the auction house and you can right click on that item and hold down shift. I mean, not right click. Where's my head? You can hit shift and then left click, which is your main click. You left click it and it'll pop up the word, and then you can hit search. And of course this is just a piddly little blacksmith hammer, so it's not going to be in the auction house, okay guys? But when you hit search on that green item, you'll probably find it for sale in the auction house. And if you don't, you can find items close to it. So let's just search one-handed axes. And there's only like a level 81 one-handed axe? Really? That's insane. Let's go to swords. Well, if I can find swords. One-handed swords. There. Search. Really, guys? Okay. Anyways, you can go into the auction house and sell your item in the auction house. Obviously, this dude's setting it at 4 gold for a level 13 item. Okay? Do the math. If you got like a level 8 item, you can sell it for maybe a gold. Don't be crazy like this dude and sell it for 4 gold. I would say try to set it for a few silver to maybe a gold in the first 20 levels or so. Simply because 90% of people are not going to buy that thing. Okay? But this is another good thing about the game, is if you're wanting to buy stuff and sell stuff on the auction house, you can. You can make a little bit of a profit this way. The profit does not really lie within the greens that you're getting, but mats. And what mats are is, if you give me just a moment, I'm going to tell you that. And what those mats are is, like, say you're out there and you're hunting for like skinning stuff, okay? And you just don't need it anymore. Like, you get the regular leather and you just don't need that anymore. Well, you can go here and put in leather. Leather search. And as you notice, Borean leather. Now, light leather, I think, is the first. Once you get about a 20 stack, you can throw it in the auction house. Or you can get a lower stack. All up to you. And sell that leather for something, you know. That's where the auction house makes quite a bit of money. You'll have to do the research on your own server. If you're on a different server, you're gonna have to find what the going prices are and how much stuff's on the auction house and how much stuff's not on the auction house. Things like that. Just use your brain and you'll find it. You'll find it and you'll find out exactly what's going on. Now, if you really get into the auction house stuff, my wife actually used a add-on. You can find it at curse.com. I believe it is called Auctioneer. It is a very good add-on, and it'll explain more of the pricing and what this is going for. It's a good add-on because it does a scan of the auction house and it helps you out quite a bit. But that about covers it for the auction house. So, the next thing I wanted to cover before we go and get out of this starter guide, because this about covers the entire starter guide, is the bank. And why do you need to know about the bank? Because, guys, when you're low level, you're going to have those bags fill up quick. So, you're going to want to go to your bank, find it wherever it is in your local city, and place stuff in your bank. And then you can purchase extra tabs down here. These are not big tabs like this. These are bag slots, meaning like if you got a 16 slot bag, you can pop it right here and you can purchase it. The first one I think it's 10 silver. I think the second one is a gold, and so on and so forth. But you can get some big slot bags and put in here and be able to, fill them up. This way that you're not always having to worry about what you're carrying and what you're not carrying. The banks, the best thing that you can do with banks is put all your mats, like all your stuff that you're building from. And to give you a better view of what mats are, I'm going to go to my blacksmithing and show you. Rough stone, rough sharpening stone. That's one of the things that I can build. So, rough stone, this right here is a mat. Rough copper vest, copper bars, that's a mat. And to get copper bars, I will have to get copper ore from mines, and then I'll have to go and smelt it into a copper bar. See? That's all a mat is, and that's all you have to know. I hope this guide's been helpful. If you have any questions or comments, or maybe, hey, you know something else, or you knew another key to use, or something like that, throw it in the comments below. I love to hear it, and it helps other gamers out there that are playing WoW. And that about does it. Y'all take care, and happy gaming, and have fun playing World of Warcraft, if that's what you're playing. Take care.